Welcome to Period 5, the interview series where I talk with young people who are navigating a complex world with honesty and courage. Today I'm sitting down with Robert, an Israeli teen living in Berlin, to talk about identity, distance, and what it means to come of age during a time of conflict. This isn't a political debate, it's a personal conversation about fear, home, change, and growing up. Let's get into it. Hey Rob.
Hey Parth, I'm doing just okay. I'm actually in Israel back home right now. Yeah, I'm ready to talk.
Great. So right away, I'm gonna dive into some more serious stuff. Apologies in advance for that. I want to go back to October 7th
Right?
for a moment. It was a major turning point in a lot of people's lives. So how was that day for you?
This was about 2 years ago. So I must have been
Mhm.
14 back then. And we've had political discourses and even armed attacks here and there. Pretty much one a year, one every few years. And what we did not think, I can tell you, is that it would turn into some big war. Because the first thing I heard personally was the sirens in the morning, and all of my friends, we would start joking that, all right, this is another thing that would last a week or 2 weeks, and then it'll kind of blow over. And of course, realizing the news of what happened down south, it was really, really horrible because even if thankfully, I didn't have any friends or relatives during the Nova parties or just in the area, you always know, especially in a country so small, you always at least know a person that knows a person that was affected. So it kind of sent a shake throughout
Mhm.
the entire population. It didn't leave anyone untouched.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people had different reactions at that time,
Right.
like shock, anger, and
Right.
numbness. Was there something that you felt early on that kind of just stayed with you?
There was a lot of personal stuff going on, and kind of in a time of where everyone is sort of struggling. It's just the national stress is kind of amplifying all of the anxiety and uncertainty of what will I do in half a year? What will I do tomorrow? Because when something is so unpredictable is going on around you, it's kind of hard to make plans and develop as a person. So I guess that's the bigger effect it had on me.
So now living in Berlin, do you feel this kind of split? Like your life here feels really distant from what's going on in Israel?
I mean, I keep up with the news, right? I keep up with my friends, my parents. I have a lot of friends in the military, so um, it's not a lot of an emotional split. I noticed that it looks a lot scarier from the outside looking in than actually living in Israel, because I've been a lot more worried about stuff that I would have kind of just glossed over if I was down here. So whenever anything happens that makes the news, even if it just really isn't in my area or an area that my friends are, I always send a text like, how's everyone? Like, is everyone doing all right? So I've been trying my best to stay connected, even though I am far away.
Does it feel scary at times when you hear something in the news and you don't know who may have been affected?
Sure, there have been occurrences of just a few months back. There was an attack where like a bunch of buses were rigged to explode, and essentially something happened that the clock was set incorrectly. So rather than 8 a.m., it blew up at 8 p.m. the day before, and thankfully no one was harmed. But those would be buses that say my friend would take to school the next morning. And just thinking about that, even though no tragedy was had, it's just it's an insane thing to have in mind.
Mhm. Has any of this changed how you think about home or what home even means?
Well, yeah, of course. To me, to some extent, home isn't just the place or the name that you see on the news every few days nowadays. It's also the people. And from from what I know, and that hasn't changed at all because of the war, I know that the people that are in this home are good people. I have my favorite teachers from in my old school that are in the military. I have my friends in the military. I have my friends just all around the country. And I feel like as a nation, that's my home, and my view on my nation and my people hasn't changed because of the war.
Mhm. Was there something someone said, maybe a friend, a stranger, even online, that really stuck with you, either in a good way or a painful one?
Well, there is a lot with Israel. There is a lot of differing opinions, and there is a lot of hate toward Israel all over the globe. I mean, it is an act of war, right? There are horrible things happening to both sides. So obviously, there are a lot of people very frustrated with Israel and with its army, and it kind of just when it kind of turns over into like full hate speech against Israelis, it does feel insensitive because when I mean people from I mean Free Palestine organizations are preaching like don't hate or don't destroy people for just being people, and then they are hating people for just being Israeli, it kind of feels backwards and unfair. And I mean, hate in general is difficult to deal with. But nothing in particular. I let it gloss over because a lot of the people that are having such a strong opinion on Israel and Palestine are so far away and they don't have a like an on-site opinion, how we were saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of hate growing for the past few
Yeah.
years and months. So I do understand how difficult it might have been, dealing with all of these uh, views full of hatred and sometimes even quite hypocritical, as you've mentioned, because they often challenge their own views. So has this whole experience changed how you think about your future, where you want to live, or the kind of role you want to play in the world?
I feel like as growing up in Israel, I kind of got more and more confident that I did want at some point to reach out to the bigger world, say Europe, say US. I feel like the war was kind of more a push for me in that direction to say, okay, here is another reason to sort of be looking into a place that has a little more of a stable future you can stay. Because I mean, with everything that's going on, there's a lot of like changing factors that you have to account for and you can't control. So yeah, I've been wanting to
Yeah.
stay in Europe for a while.
Do you feel like this entire experience has made you grow up faster in some way?
I mean, yeah, sure. It is something that weighs on on people. Thankfully, I wasn't as affected as a lot of others and kids far younger than me have. It's been difficult at times, and it's horrible to see everything that's happening around. And obviously, it didn't come without any difficulties. But I feel like the national spirit and the family spirit in general is very optimistic and very connected. And if anything, it's gotten even more connected because of the war. And thankfully, that helped me cope a little more with all the struggles, even when I was a kid.
So you mentioned just now that it might have been harder for some younger children because they're still adapting, that their view on the world is still
Right.
forming. So if you were talking to a younger sibling or cousin, what's something you'd want them to understand about the world right now or about being Israeli?
I mean, just about the situation as it is going on right now, I would tell them that all choices on any side are very affected by perspective, because the solution to the conflict from the perspective of the world, from outside looking in, is far different as imagine you're in here and these are your people that you have to deal with. So I'm saying, I would say just consideration for all sides and not letting hate affect those decisions in any way, not even politically or when it comes to race, just no hate in anything really, because it really it
Mhm.
kills.
Yeah. And just to wrap it up on a lighter note, how would you describe yourself in just 3 words?
Well, as I am now, I try to stay imaginative as much as I can, sort of let myself think outside the box. Um, I would say I'm pretty confident in what I am. I try to keep that trait with me because it's about integrity to yourself to make the best choice.
Mhm.
And I would like to think of myself as kind. I think that's also a very important thing to hold on to. Growing up in such a busy time with conflicts and troubles.
Well, that's a really powerful way to wrap this up, Robert. Thanks a ton for opening up and sharing your experience with me. I really appreciate having you on Pure 5 and take care, and I'll catch you later.
See you
Bye.
around.